Studies suggest that only 7% of the understanding that people take from the words that you say are the actual words. The rest is body language, posture, eye contact, and yes, tonality. That nasality that you maybe think isn't too bad, that may be changing someone's understanding of what you're saying. Maybe you've had an argument and you walked away and thought, God damn, if only I hadn't said that thing. But maybe you should be saying, if only I hadn't sounded so nasal there. Because this is the understanding that people take from a character. Think of the characters we see in the media who are nasal. In TV, films, news, they're always portrayed either as super geeks or super annoying. Think Janice from Friends. Oh my God. Pretty annoying. You probably don't want to sound like Janice. Let's reconnect with your voice. Let us rediscover how to disconnect with the overt over nasality and get the voice that you deserve and get noticed for all the right reasons. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you some exercises to do that. When people talk about your voice, they often give the example of a guitar. They work kind of the same way. We can change the pitch here by tightening or loosening the strings as we do when we either raise or lower, stretch down our vocal cords to create a different pitch that we want. You can change the sound, the pressure of the sound, by working how your lungs. Here, this is the force that I'm going to put into the power here. It's like your diaphragm, when it's giving the force to your voice. I actually do have videos on your pitch and the power of your voice. But the tone, the tonality, that's created in the articulators. The empty space that we have, just like in here, because the true richness of the sound is created in here. It's empty space. You know, it's a big instrument, but all that empty space means something. And your body, the human body is a condensed thing. There's very few spaces with empty space. It's not a design trait that would be beneficial. And yet there's a big chunk of empty space around the nasal cavity, at the back of the mouth, in the mouth, all this space. And it's because this is where we shape the sound. There's a good reason to have this space. Nasal sounds such as M, N, NG, these are where the articulators, which is our face, throw some sound up there. Now the articulators are all around here. So like when you say something like what actors do actually, we have a little line which is the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. I love this. It's what we do to warm up before a show because you obviously want everyone to understand what you are saying, which may or not be the case as I'm speaking on YouTube with my Scottish accent, but we do it. And what it is, and the reason I love it, is because when you say the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, you're engaging each part of your articulators which you're talking about as you say it. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. And you hear the tongue there, that's working. But also at the end of that word, tongue, the NG, flinging a little bit of air up to my nasal cavity. The articulating space here, a lot of empty space where you can fling some air up. You say mum, mum, you know, moon. These words, you're flinging that space, and it's beautiful, and it's part of the English language that you create this sound. But if you start saying lips, lips, teeth, teeth, and then you fling the sound up there, well, you're doing it wrong. That's not the way the sound is meant to get created. And why may this be the case? Well, let's discover this. But first discover if you're doing it wrong. Let's record your voice. Get your either phone or a laptop or whatever it is, record your voice there. Because you're hearing your voice through bone conduction. Other people hear your voice through air conduction. You want to see what you actually sound like. So record your voice, listen to it. Are you overtly nasal? You know, nasal as you're speaking. And if you are putting too much air into your nasal cavity, why would that be? Sometimes it's genetics, but generally it's just as we develop, you know, as a kid, we're just picking sounds out of the air and we emulate these sounds. That's why people have particular regional accents. And often a regional effect is that In some areas, some people are a bit more nasal. New York is typically seen sometimes as being a wee bit nasal, or coffee. I want a coffee. Glasgow, where I'm from, is typically also quite a nasal region of Britain. Within Glasgow, people often sound a wee bit like this. All right, pal, how are you doing? Which actually means, all right, friend, how are you doing? And this nasality of Glasgow has actually meant that within the nation of Britain, the Glaswegian accent is looked down upon as an accent. It's largely considered one of the most unattractive accents. I am sorry, Glaswegians, if you're watching this, I think it's great. Point is, you probably don't want it. You probably want to make the nasal sounds when you should make them and not make them when you shouldn't make them. And that's what I'm going to show you. So, if you say the word like fish, and you touch your nose, and you say fish, 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 and you can hear a vibration, or feel, I should say, a vibration in your fingers, you're flinging way too much air up there. You're doing it wrong. Or you can develop this exercise a bit further. You could cover the nose, and you say fish, fish. But if you hear the sound change, such as fish, fish, that's because you're flinging way too much air up there. When we speak and we make a nasal sound, the tongue lifts up a little bit. Your soft palate comes down. The soft palate is extended from the hard palate at the top of your mouth. There's a little bit of flesh that comes down, and a wee puff of air flings up. And that should happen occasionally when you use the instrument, just like the guitar, the instrument correctly. But if you say fish, fish, you're using your instrument wrong. Reconnect with the instrument. Start this as an exercise. Say words or sentences like the cat sat on a mat. The dog opened the door. Say these and then try and say things which, that don't have any nasal sounds at all. Dog, cat, fish. And see if you can see sentences which involve just these words, that none of them have a nasal sound. Until you're using your articulators the way you're meant to use them. Re-engage with the voice and play with it. You can occasionally fling nasal sounds up if you want, but on the whole, get this voice engaged the way it's meant to be. Reconnect with it, rediscover it, exercise with the voice, and engage. And have a great day. You have been watching 21st Century Survivor. If you want to see more videos like this, or just be a nice guy, then please like and subscribe.